Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Thank you all so much for joining me here today for a brand new pick a card reading. For those of you that are new to the channel, hello and welcome in. My name is Melissa, and today's reading topic is going to be signs that this is not your soulmate. So who your soulmate isn't. So this reading is inspired by my dear friend Zach over on his channel LD Healing. He recorded a video on this topic recently, and I thought it was a really creative and innovative way to look at a love reading. What we're going to be doing in this video is taking a look at some signs, some red flags, some characteristics that would indicate that someone is not for you, that they are not your soulmate. I think that it's really important that we explore this topic because a lot of times it can be really confusing, right? When we're navigating relationships, and sometimes when we get really intense feelings from someone, we might think that they're our soulmate when really they're just kind of triggering our insecurities, and there could be something else going on other than that. So I want to just kind of define for you guys what a soulmate means to me. A soulmate is, for me, a person that comes into your life and sort of helps you along your journey. You help each other along your journey here on Earth. So for me, a soulmate would not be somebody that is causing a lot of damage or distress to your life. It is someone who is here to help teach you a lesson and guide you forward on your path. So that's kind of the way that I'm defining it. So just kind of bear that in mind as you are watching the reading, that we may have different ways of looking at this topic of soulmates, but this is the lens through which I'm viewing it, okay? So really we're just focusing in on how you guys will know that someone is not for you and that they are not a soulmate, someone that you would want to invest a lot of time in. So if that sounds like something that would be helpful for you, then I would definitely recommend watching the video. I definitely feel that this can be a good reading that could resonate, you know, for any of you that are just wanting to know the general red flags. Maybe some of you guys are already in a connection right now and you're curious to know, like, if this specific person is a soulmate. So this can be a good way to kind of check in and see, like, if some of the qualities and characteristics that are coming up, some of the signs, some of the red flags are coming up in your pile that kind of align with your connection that you're in, that could be an indicator that this person is just not meant for you, okay? So let's get into our disclaimers. So as always, guys, this is a general reading, so please bear that in mind when you're viewing. Some messages may resonate with you while others may not. As I always say, if it doesn't apply, let it fly. Please don't get upset or take it personally if something within a general YouTube reading isn't super specific to your situation word by word. If you do want to book a more personal reading, all the details on how you can do so will be linked in the description box down below. So with that being said, let's go ahead and get into our pile selection. We're working with 3 piles today. Starting on the left, we have pile 1, and the stone that we're working with here is a Smoky Quartz. For pile 2, we are working with Amethyst. And for pile 3, we're working with some Sodalite. So I want you guys to take a deep breath. Think about who your soulmate is not. Go ahead and select the pile or crystal you're feeling the most intuitively connected to. And once you've made your choice, scroll down to the description box where you can locate the timestamp that will take you to your chosen pile. See you there. Hey, pile 1, if you guys picked out this Smoky Quartz, this is going to be a reading. We're looking into signs and red flags that someone is not your soulmate. So as I was mentioning in the intro, if you guys missed it, this is a great reading just to help you guys sort of navigate either current connections you're in, future connections, or just learn the general red flags to look out for that someone just may not be the right fit for you. The way that I define a soulmate is just as someone who is in our life to help us along our healing journey, just help us along our path, someone that we can learn lessons from with each other. And typically a soulmate isn't going to be someone that leaves you like totally wrecked. Okay, that's just my personal like definition that resonates with me. So just bear that in mind as you're watching it, that may differ depending on your definition. So let's go ahead and get started. So we start off here with Cancer energy. And then we have the Messiah. Interesting. So just kind of initial feelings here with these 2 cards. I feel like a big red flag for you guys that you can kind of look out for I'm almost getting a little bit of like parenting vibes from both of these cards coming up here with Cancer. Cancer really talks about family and family roots and things like that. And this Messiah energy is talking about exaggerated belief that you are the only means through which a cause can succeed. So it's like someone may present themselves to you guys, and it could be very attractive to you, somebody who is sort of like really passionate about serving a specific cause, right? And so someone may come across to you as being very like righteous or very humble in a way that's actually really attractive initially. But deep down, there could be something about like certain people that are in the limelight or that are really passionate about certain causes or serving and taking care of others. Like there's sort of this dark energy that you want to be aware of, that like some people, you know, they feel like the only way something can get done is if they are the ones doing it, right? They have a hard time relinquishing control and sort of delegating out to others, or believing that others can also work together with them to support something, right? So this doesn't have to be about like grander causes necessarily, but maybe like within the confines of your relationship, it's sort of like, this could be the person that thinks the only way that a problem gets solved is if I do it. The only way that this thing happens is if I do it, without them really giving you the chance to step up and kind of work together with them. So like, I'm almost getting a little individualistic vibes from this person. The other thing too here with Cancer, like this could be like the type of person that sort of wants to parent you, like someone that is maybe like smothering you in a way, overly nurturing or overly like wanting to know what's going on. This can also be someone who is really guarded with their emotions, because Cancer, even though it is a water sign and it is a sign that talks about emotion, the sign of Cancer is the crab, right? So crabs have that really tough exterior, but they're very soft on the inside. So this could be also a red flag for some of you to be wary of people who kind of have an emotional wall up or kind of present themselves as having this really tough exterior, but then like deep down inside, they're hypersensitive and taking certain things to heart. I almost feel too like I'm getting a little bit of energy here around someone who doesn't take criticism well, right? Because if they feel that they're the best of the best and that they're doing their best and they're kind of the only one deep down that can really fix things, you know, any sort of constructive criticism they may take to heart, you know what I mean, in a non-healthy way. So we have Solitude. We also have Offer coming up here. So I definitely think that like something to look out for you, pile one, is anyone who is sort of isolating themselves from you, right? I feel like a lot of you guys might like to feel like, I'm already kind of getting this energy of wanting to feel like you're an equal with your partner, that you guys are kind of working together on the same team, you're on the same side, you know what I mean? And I think that people, like, I'm not saying that this is a bad thing, right? We all need to take our space sometimes. We all need that time to be at peace and to find our own personal solitude. But I definitely think that if you guys are connecting with someone that this is really something that they need their space, they need their separation, they need their time apart. I think it's going to be something that may not be the most in alignment with you. I'm also getting like, with kind of piggybacking off of some of the other stuff we talked about, it's sort of like this energy of, this person, again, just feeling more independent, more isolated, you know, like they believe that they're kind of going at this alone and they're the only one that can do it, right? They're on their own. They're by themselves. I'm also getting something here around emotional expression with the Offer card here. I'm also seeing something here about alcohol for some of you that could be a red flag. But just tying it back in with Cancer, you know, this to me is showing us like an offer of love, right? Something that they would want to offer you. But to me, it's like, it's also talking about the way that they're doing it, the emotional expression behind what they're doing. You know, kind of going back to Cancer, this is an energy of sort of having that tough exterior, but deep down being really sensitive, right? So maybe it's kind of talking about the way that someone might present themselves to you when they are expressing love. Let's get a little more insight here. So we have friend zoned, okay? And then we have proposal. Interesting. It's like people who put you in the friend zone, but then it's almost like this energy of like, avoidance of intimacy, like people that sort of only keep you at arm's length. You know what I mean? But then like they want it when they want it. Like they want attention on their terms. They want things when they're ready versus other times when they want to not. Like it's a flaky energy that I'm getting here. You know, so I would say like if somebody is putting you in the friend zone and then they're coming out and they're like, you know, let's take this to the next level, and they're kind of like, it's like a person that's coming across as like not knowing what they want, or someone that maybe deep down does have feelings for you, but they kind of keep you in this, they keep you at arm's length. You know what I mean? I also think too, this is like a good red flag for you guys to think about, like, if you're connecting with someone, how do you feel about them? You know what I mean? Because just because somebody is offering something to you, it doesn't mean that you have to accept it. Like, how do you feel when you think about this person, or any person, right? Like, do you feel friend zone feelings for them, right? Maybe some of you guys in the past have like continued to date and explore connections when somebody was offering something to you, even when you knew deep down inside that they weren't really the right fit, that you just kind of looked at them only as a friend, like in a platonic manner. So I definitely think for you guys, like when you feel that energy of someone's in the friend zone, honor that energy, right? Listen to your intuition. There's something about it that is sort of just not romantic for you. And there's nothing wrong with that. It doesn't make the other person wrong. Trust me, like I understand how it feels like when you have someone that kind of presents as a really great fit and they're offering you the things that you desire and that you want, and maybe they are showing up and being consistent. It's like, it can be hard to sort of just say, but I don't have romantic feelings, because you're like, why? They're doing everything right. But sometimes there just isn't that romantic chemistry. So if you guys are feeling more like friend energy toward a person, I feel like Spirit is saying you need to honor your intuition and listen to that. I'm also getting a message here kind of going back to this arm's length energy, right? Look out for people who keep you in a box in their life. You know what I mean? People who maybe are only going to connect with you within a certain setting, right? Like, oh, I only want to go to the gym with you, or oh, like we're only going to hang out at my apartment, but they don't really like let you come outside of that box that they put you in and show you the rest of their life. Let's see. We have the Queen of Pentacles. We'll put these here. And the Ace of Cups. Yeah, it's like there's that kind of parent energy coming up again with the Queen of Pentacles. Like, there's definitely something here around like that overly nurturing kind of mothering energy, because Queen of Pentacles for me in the tarot, it's not the Empress, but to me it is more of like that responsible mothering type of energy. And it kind of makes sense. Like if you guys have connected with people that are like this, that kind of have this more parental vibe toward you, where it's like you feel like they're treating you like a child in a sense, and they're like the responsible parent for whatever reason they deem themselves that. It's kind of like this vibe of like, yeah, that is going to make you feel like they're just a friend, because that's not a sexy energy. You know, nobody wants to feel like they're dating their mom or their dad. Or, you know, on the flip side, if somebody makes you feel like you have to be the parent, that's not sexy. You know, if somebody doesn't have their stuff together and you feel like you're the one that has to be responsible and you're like always having to hold them accountable and stuff, like no one has time for that. That's not a sexy energy. So just be kind of aware of those dynamics, you guys. I also kind of feel that like there is still something here about the way people emotionally express to you. You know, like Cancer energy, in my experience, Cancers are some of the sweetest people. And at the same time, Cancer energy can be very, how do I say, like, I don't want to offend anyone who's a Cancer, because I love Cancers. I have a lot of Cancers in my life, in my family. But one thing I've noticed that a lot of Cancers in my life that I've experienced have in common is that, yes, they are sweet and sensitive, but sometimes they're only sensitive to themselves and the way that they feel, and they're not always exercising that same level of sensitivity to others, right? That's kind of where that crab, that shell comes into play, right? Like it's that tough exterior, but then deep down they're very sweet and kind and sensitive. But that tough exterior sometimes can be very off-putting. And so maybe you think that someone is a certain way because they're putting up this tough exterior, but then the second you say something that they don't like, it's like it's drama time. You know what I'm saying? This is like no shade to anyone. Like this is just, remember guys, this is just like certain things that you want to watch out for that would maybe indicate that someone is not the right fit for you. And that's kind of the energy I'm getting with this. It's like the Ace of Cups is talking about an overflow of emotion. The Ace of Cups can also talk about feeling a little bit anxious in a connection, or just having a lot of feelings about a connection that are uncontrollable in a sense. And so I'm kind of getting this energy of like watching out for someone that might be overly emotional or overly sensitive when you try to express yourself. Just for fun. Infatuation. Okay, this is sort of interesting because a lot of these cards that we've got in here, you guys, they're really beautiful cards, right? Like proposal, offer, infatuation, Ace of Cups. What I'm getting with this is you want to watch out for people who might do too much too soon, right? Love bombing, you know, telling you how great you are, overly fixated on you, infatuated with you, before there's really been a lot of time to fully kind of develop something legitimate, right? You kind of have to ask yourself sometimes, like, why? And it's not to say that you're not great, or we're not great people, but like when somebody is coming in hot and doing too much before you really get to know them, you kind of have to wonder, like, why am I so special to you? Like, I don't even know you like that. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Like, it just kind of feels inauthentic in a sense, and it makes it so that like you would kind of wonder, do they just do this with everyone? You know, are you just pouring your guts out to everyone? Are you just infatuated with everyone right away? You know, I think that's just something you want to look out for. So if you guys have been in connections in the past where you feel like it's kind of been a lot of emotions really quickly and things happen really fast and someone's trying to take care of you and maybe things fizzle out or it becomes too intense, it's like this is something you want to just watch out for. Taking things to the next level too quickly. This one just for fun. Good times, good company, getting out of the house and having fun. It's sort of like, again, going back to this arm's length energy of like, is someone just here for fun? You know, even with these two cards coming out together, pile one, it's kind of interesting because it's like, I feel like these energies kind of go together, right? Like sometimes it's easy to sort of just get like swept up in the fun moment of things and become really into someone, really infatuated with someone without really thinking about like how we really feel, or is it just that we're excited right now? You know what I mean? I'm also just feeling like, I don't know why I keep going back to this card and feeling like inauthentic. Like if somebody is complimenting you and you feel like it's inauthentic, listen to your intuition. Like I'm really being drawn to this like glittery ornament here, which is making me think of like fake, or making me think of like just something that's not totally based in reality. Listen to your intuition, you guys. Like if something feels off about something someone is saying to you or expressing to you, then maybe it is. You know what I mean? I also kind of feel like watching out for people that don't want to have fun, because you guys do still have a lot of this rigid energy here with Cancer and the Queen of Pentacles, like the friend zone card. I don't know, just something to keep in mind if people can't go with the flow and have fun, or if it's always going to be this responsible energy. We have triggers. When someone's behavior irritates me, I take it as an opportunity to heal something unresolved within myself. So I also think if someone is triggering you, you guys, they're probably not for you. A lot of times triggers come from karmics, you know, in my experience. It could come from a soulmate, but like you should feel more, I would say more safe and stable with a soulmate. We have power. I can accomplish any goal that I set my mind to. Nothing is unattainable unless I believe it is. Right. So this kind of ties back to our initial messages around someone who isn't really allowing you to step up in the connection. Someone that's overbearing, someone that's overly like parenting you, or kind of not letting you stand in your own unique power and bring your own things to the table and your own shine to the relationship, right? Like someone that's not supporting your goals or not understanding your goals, not understanding the way that you like to be loved, I think is a huge red flag for you, group one. So I think group one, these are all the messages that I'm getting. I feel like we went in depth for a while here. So I would love to hear from you in the comments what you felt resonates the most with your situation. So please drop me a comment below and let me know. If you're not already, please do subscribe to the channel and hit the bell. This way you guys are aware when I'm uploading new videos. And I do look forward to seeing you in a new reading really soon. Bye. Hey there, Pile 2. If you guys picked this Amethyst, this is going to be your reading. We're going to be looking into signs and red flags that someone is not your soulmate, okay? So as I was saying in the intro, soulmates for me are just people that are here to sort of help us and support us on our journey in life. So typically a soulmate is like you're both teaching each other a lesson. Sometimes they're in your life forever, sometimes they're not. But typically a soulmate isn't leaving you as like depleted as maybe like a karmic would leave you, okay? So keep that in mind. These are just red flags for you to look out that someone is not your soulmate. And just already right off the bat with you guys picking this Amethyst out, I am feeling for group number 2 that if you guys don't feel calm and peaceful with a person, you need to like take that as a red flag. If someone doesn't bring you peace, if somebody feels unpredictable, if you feel anxious around someone, there's something around anxiety and really listening to how you're feeling around love interests or people just in general. This is a huge indicator that this is not a soulmate. This is not a person that's maybe meant for you, okay? And it doesn't mean, you guys, like we're not describing like someone that's a terrible person here. It just means that like they're not for you. They're for someone else, okay? So for you guys, we have the 5th house, passion, and we do have femme fatale. I'm already kind of getting this energy of like really watching out for people that lead with their sexuality. Like people that are overly, you know, exposing their bodies and there's nothing like, please, like not judging or anything like that. There's nothing necessarily wrong with this energy, you guys, and we're not judging here. But I think for you, my viewers of Pile 2, people that are really kind of out there with their like sexual expression. So I'm getting this energy of like someone that would use their looks, someone that would use their sexuality to gain control over others, to be very seductive, right? This talks about the inappropriate use of sensuality, attachment to money and power. So it's like they get a high off of like people admiring them. There's something that they get from other people through using their sensual energy. You know what I mean? So whether they're doing it for money or they're doing it just for like clout or followers on social media or whatever it is, like this is not the type of person for you. And with the 5th house being here, it's like this is giving me very surface level vibes with all of this. Like the 5th house with relationships for me is more of like that passionate sort of like summer love. Like it's fun, it's hot, but it's like not here forever. You know, so I think be cautious of anyone that is overly seductive with you and really leading with their physicality and their like seductive energy to pull you in. This could be why you guys picked the Amethyst, right? Because this type of energy, if we're not careful, can feel really good. Like it can feel really intoxicating, excuse me. You know, and you can feel like you're getting kind of swept up in a sense. Let's see. We have twin flame. Okay. We also have self-worth. Yeah. I think that, you know, this is a sign a lot of times of someone who has low self-esteem, right? It's like the only way that they feel that they have worth is through expressing themselves in this way. And it's very surface level, like leading with the body, right? You're not really showing your heart. You're not being vulnerable. You're basically kind of, you know, this is like your way of using your, you know, immutable characteristics to boost your confidence in a sense. So I think you guys know what I'm talking about. Like I think of the person that's always posting like selfies on Instagram. It doesn't mean everybody that does this is like insecure. It doesn't. But the person that you guys know this type of energy where it's like they do it on purpose to try to lure someone in. You know what I mean? We've all been there. I think that just for you, this would not be the right fit. I'm also feeling like if somebody doesn't kind of have their own passions in life, things that they enjoy or support your passions, again, this is giving me like more, are people getting to know you for you on a deep level, and do they appreciate the things that you find enjoyment in? Or are they just more worried about like being in control? Are they more worried about the attention that they're getting off of you? I'm also seeing as well, you guys, that like if somebody is making you feel like in their presence, something about their energy makes you feel less confident in yourself, then they're probably not for you. We also have Twin Flame. This is interesting that this is coming up in a soulmate reading. I think kind of going back to that energy at the beginning that I was channeling around like those really passionate sort of connections, you know, usually the most passionate, hot and heavy connections burn out the fastest because they're not based on a solid foundation. They're based on physical, right? They're based on that initial chemistry that we have with someone and that physical attraction that we have to someone. And so it can feel like a twin flame, right? It can feel like this super special, intoxicating energy. But I'm almost seeing, I don't know if anyone else is seeing this, but I almost feel like I'm seeing a serpent or a snake in here in this fire. You know, so it's like ultimately these types of connections can be very depleting. So if it feels really intense, almost like it's too good to be true, you guys, it's something you want to listen to as a red flag. We have the Groom card, okay, and then we have Shy. So kind of going back to this self-worth energy, it's like, I think if you all feel nervous again or anxious or uncomfortable to approach someone, like the way they present themselves feels intimidating to you or unapproachable, that's probably a red flag. Like if you don't feel, I feel like you guys who chose this group probably are confident in yourselves for a lot of you. I do think that you all, and even if you don't feel like that's true for you, it's like it could be something that you guys are working through. So if it's out of character for you to be nervous around someone, right? Like that Amethyst, there's a reason for that. It's because there's something about the energy that you're picking up on that isn't really in alignment with you. It's not bringing out the best, most confident version of you. With the Groom card, this is interesting because this typically talks about wanting a higher level of commitment, right? I'm just being really brought back to like this going too fast, too soon energy, because to be a groom, to be a husband, it takes grounding. Like this talks about a love of a lifetime, commitment, you know, like this is like major energy right here of commitment, because this means that you've really properly vetted someone and you can really see yourselves being with them long term. So if somebody is presenting these kind of concepts to you or making you feel this too soon, it might be a red flag. We have the Three of Cups, the Knight of Cups. Yeah, look out for charmers, you guys. Like people who are very good with their words. They know all the right things to say. They know how to wine and dine you. They know exactly what they need to do to get what they want. You know what I mean? Like that Knight of Cups, it is a beautiful energy because it does talk about emotional expression, right? An offer of love. However, because we're reading it in context with some of our other cards here, you want to watch out for people that, you know, like I keep coming back to, it's too good to be true. If it feels like they know all the right things to say, it's probably a little bit inauthentic, right? It's probably like they know how to get what they want. Does that make sense? I don't know. I also think Three of Cups coming up here is kind of interesting because it makes me think that like maybe some of the people that you guys have been attracted to in the past, maybe they start off as friends. Like I'm getting kind of like friends with benefits vibes, or like, let's be friends and see where it goes. Ugh, I hate when someone says that to me. But it's like, Yeah, there's something here around friendship that's popping up here as a red flag. Or, you know, even a person who is treating you very casually, right? Like intense chemistry, but they're kind of treating you in a casual manner or have other options. Maybe this is like a person that's dating a lot of people, keeping their options open. Maybe they're already in a connection, a third party situation. Like if you know or have an intuitive inkling that someone is entertaining other options, or you've seen that maybe they are in another connection, there's a third party energy, this is not your person, okay? So even if this is like a specific person you guys are asking about and you know that they're in a committed relationship, not your person, not your soulmate. We have off limits. Look, already involved. Yeah. So anyone that's already involved, not your soulmate. Dating, open to love, getting to know people, not committed to just one person, not your soulmate. Do you guys get what I mean? It's like definitely this theme here of like people who are very surface level. They are very charming. They know how to get what they want, right? They're probably going to ask you out on dates, but like there's this element of emotional unavailability here. This element of like going very surface level, okay? For some of you guys, I do feel like if there's a specific person, there's someone out here who has been with connecting with someone that you have like a common interest with, a hobby and interest, but they're off limits, okay? Maybe you go to school with this person, you have some sort of creative hobbies or something you guys like to do together, but this person is already in a committed relationship and they're not even committed to that person. You know, I also think too, taking the specifics out of it that I was channeling, I think for you guys group 2, you know, dating it can be hard, right? Because it's like we're kind of told in our society that we have to keep our options open, we have to date multiple options, you know, we have to put ourselves out there and like date all these people just so we can find out who's the right one. But I will say it can be really hard to properly get to know a person if you're scattering your energy between so many people, right? So I think when you guys are dating, if someone is, you know, very upfront with you that they're not committing yet, or they're like, I'm dating multiple people, this could be a little bit of a red flag for you specifically, because I think that you guys need more depth from people. I think some of this surface level stuff is just really not for you. And someone that's doing this, while there's nothing wrong with it, right? Again, we're not bashing anyone here, but like it can be hard, I think, to properly, like I said, get to know someone when you're scattering your energy between multiple people and wooing multiple people. Like you don't really properly know if someone is for you until you've really invested some time and energy and effort consistently, at least for a few weeks, to know before you move on to the next person. You know what I'm saying? So I would just be mindful of that when you guys are connecting and dating. It's like people who are dating a lot of people, keeping their options open, probably not the best fit for you. I feel like this causes you guys a lot of anxiety. We have unaware. I do not pretend to be blinded to things I know deep down are not good for me. So listen to your intuition, you guys. Like a lot of these things that I'm talking about in this reading, I do feel, you know, you'll know pretty quickly when you feel these feelings, when you experience these things, that it's not for you. So even if you see it, and it's like, it can be hard because I know that I'm sure a lot of my viewers here are very like caring and compassionate and you want to see the good in people, but you can tell, right? Use your intuition. You can tell when somebody is trying to engage you in a behavior that is not right. You know what I mean? You can tell if somebody is not good for you, or if you just like how you feel, if it's just like intoxicating. You know what I mean? So listen to your intuition, you guys. And don't ignore the red flags. Don't ignore the signs that people are showing you, because those things are real and they're valid. And you don't have to turn a blind eye to it. You know what I mean? There are other people out there that won't have the red flags. We have alienation. The act of isolation stems from fear of intimacy. Do not take this behavior personally or try to force anyone to open up. Interesting. Yeah. You guys want something deeper, as I think most of us probably do. You know what I mean? And it feels like with this type of person that I'm channeling here, that they're going to be very surface level. They're going to be really exciting to hang out with. They're going to bring a lot of fun into your life. It's going to feel really intoxicating and all of that. The chemistry is going to be on point. But this type of person is surface level. They don't want to go deeper with you. They're not able to go deeper with you for whatever reason. They'll probably learn later on in their own journey with their own soulmates, right? But for you guys, my viewer, if you feel like you have to force someone to open up to you, if you feel like you're like fighting tooth and nail to get someone to like be real with you and just go deeper, then this is a huge red flag that this is not your person. So pile 2, we are going to go ahead and close it out there, but I'm really interested to hear your feedback in the comments. So let me know what aspects of this you feel resonate the most with you and your situation. If you're not already, please do subscribe to the channel and hit the bell. This way you guys are aware of when I'm uploading new videos, and I look forward to seeing you in a new reading very soon. Bye. Hey there, pile 3. If you guys picked out this blue Sodalite crystal, this is going to be your reading about who your soulmate isn't, okay? So as I mentioned in the intro, for me, a soulmate is someone that is here to help support us on our journey through life. And sometimes soulmates can be permanent, forever in our life. Other times they are just here to help us for a brief period of time. But for me, when I think of a soulmate, it's someone that we are both giving and helping each other grow in some way. And usually a soulmate is not going to be as like triggering or like, damaging sometimes, I guess, as like a karmic relationship could be. So already for you guys, like, I'm feeling with the Sodalite that you all chose that there's something around communication that is a red flag or that's important when it comes to soulmates and relationships that you're in. So let's just go ahead and get started. We're going to just kind of go card by card and see what we get. So red flags, we have Juno, partnership. We also have the Poet. Interesting, right? Like with the Poet coming up with communication, like it says expresses soul insights in symbolic language. I feel like even though this is like a beautiful characteristic, it's like, I think for you guys, someone who isn't, I'm almost feeling like when someone is very poetic or symbolic in their communication, like they're more about like passive communication or giving you like signs or signals or like, I don't know, like I just feel like there's something about that that isn't good for you. You know, like I'm almost feeling this energy of like people who talk in riddles or talk in clues, and they don't really just directly say whatever it is that they mean or whatever they're trying to convey to you. I feel like that's something you guys need to look out for. Turns a lyric gift into negative or destructive effect. I also think people who are harsh in their communication, right? Like who say things that cut deep, say things that can be hurtful, passive aggressive. Like it's like they're saying it in a way that sounds really pretty and poetic, but really it's like it's rude as hell, you know what I'm saying, or whatever. So it's interesting that this came out when I was talking about the communication with your Sodalite. Now, the Juno card coming up is interesting because this card really talks about someone who is able to work through relationship issues, right? So I think for you guys, a big indicator that someone isn't your soulmate is someone who's not able to work together with you. Through communication issues, for instance, through problems, someone who's not really evolved or well-versed in even like their own healing, right? Their own sort of energy that they're bringing to the table in the relationship. Because if someone isn't self-aware of their own deficiencies, it's kind of hard when you come into a connection and people are like resistant to trying to like take accountability in a sense. And you have to be accountable, right? Both people have to be accountable to what they're bringing to the relationship. This card of Juno also talks about losing yourself in a partnership. So for a lot of you guys, I do feel that it's important when you are in relationships that you have your own things going on, right? You have your own goals, ambitions. Your partner also has their own goals and ambitions. So there's not this energy of people kind of becoming too attached or wrapped up in the other partner's life without having their own life of their own. So that's something really important that you guys need to keep in mind, like as a red flag. So if somebody's coming into your life and you're that person that loses all your friends, or you're that person that falls out with all the the things that you enjoy doing, all of your friendships, right? That's probably a red flag that this is not a soulmate, okay? And vice versa. Like if you are connecting with a person and they are becoming too enmeshed in your life and not having a life of their own, that's a red flag that this is not your soulmate. All right, let's see. We have pause, recognition. Okay. Let's see. Let's keep going. I'm going to pull a few more here. We have why. We have try me. Okay. Yeah. So it's like, I think something else, kind of tying back to what I was talking about with relationship and working together to fix problems in the relationship or to communicate better. When someone is not able to focus on solutions, you know, and is more fixated on being upset about the problem, you know, being frustrated, maybe even someone who is like, I got to put this on ice and walk away before I'm going to be able to talk to you. Those are all signs that this is not your soulmate. This just may not be the person for you. And it doesn't mean that this is a bad person or that anything I'm saying is like necessarily a negative thing to someone else, right? It's just about what's for you, right? This is sort of indicating to me like the type of person that wouldn't be able to be solutions oriented. They're not able to come to the table with productive solutions on how we're going to work together to fix the problem. They're just over here being frustrated and putting progress on pause. This also kind of aligns with that as well. This is all about being upset, being angry, you know, not in the mood to recognize you and come meet you halfway, right? Both of these cards kind of talk about, I feel like for this group, it's really important for you guys to have a partner that's going to meet you where you are, meet you halfway, uphold their end of the deal, right? Do the work together with you, see eye to eye with you, work together to resolve issues. Versus, you know, someone that would just like walk away and be like, nope, not in the mood, and kind of ice you out. Yeah, so we have Four of Swords, King of Wands. Wow. I would definitely be really cautious of anyone who is you know, domineering or dominating in a connection, someone that's leading more with the ego and who's not able to be vulnerable, someone that needs to be in charge of you or feel like they're in control. Again, this is also a really independent energy too, right? Of someone that, you know, this actually is the type of person I would say when it comes to relationships that would want an equal partner. Like this should be someone when they're healed who would expect to have like a healthy relationship, a dynamic partner, where the two of you are like just, you know, taking on the world together, a partner in crime kind of. But on a negative side, this can also be somebody whose ego gets in the way, right? And that's kind of what I'm seeing a lot of here with this like lack of teamwork. This can also be a very independent type of guy, like, or a person where they're like more concerned about their own needs and what they want to accomplish and their own goals versus yours. So kind of, again, going back to the Juno card, it's like if somebody's very passionate about their own life and their own things going on, but they don't really show that same level of interest or investment in your life and your things that you have going on, this is a huge sign that this is not your soulmate. This is not your person. Four of Swords, this is interesting. Like this kind of goes back to that pausing energy, right? So I think when someone needs to take space, and again, like not all these qualities I'm listing are always going to be bad, you guys. It just means it may not be the best fit for you, right? So the Four of Swords is like, I think of someone that needs to take space, someone that needs a break from the connection, right? So for instance, I feel like this group, you guys really value a partner that's able to come together with you and work together with you to resolve things and communicate, right? Maybe you've dealt with people in the past that were like, I can't do this right now. I need my space. you know, and they like leave and they take their mental break while you're over here just like, what's going on? You know what I mean? I just want to fix this. You know, so there is like a little bit of selfish energy that I'm picking up as well, guys. You know, like even if you're expressing yourself and you're communicating like, hey, I need us to work together, and this person just doesn't even try to meet you where you are, again, like red flag. Fear of the unknown is why you're settling. Okay, that's interesting. We also have needy. Yeah, so kind of going back to that, it's twofold, right? You guys will know better than me, but like I think for those of you that feel needy when you're connecting with someone because they're not giving you what you need, they're not meeting you halfway in partnership, when you start to feel needy, this is a red flag. On the flip side, if the other person is needy to you and latching onto you in a sense, red flag. But I feel like it's more, because what I'm channeling here is more of like the type of partner that's more focused on themselves and like maybe not able or willing to step up and be a partner to you to do the work together. Someone that's afraid to let their guard down, someone who's more in their ego versus their heart, right? So I feel like this type of energy would leave you feeling needy or depleted in a way, because it's like you're just wanting that camaraderie. You're wanting to be on the same page. And if this person is not giving that to you, it could make you feel this way, right? We also have fear of the unknown is why you're settling. So this is interesting, you guys. I think for some of you, if you've been in a connection and this is like the person I'm describing, I think this is an interesting message for you. But I think that it can also apply if this is a familiar energy that you have dealt with before, right? You guys are going to know that as you're viewing the video. But like, this is talking about being afraid or not being sure if there's anyone else out there. You know what I mean? So when you feel like you're settling, you need to ask yourself why. If you're not happy with your circumstances, if you're not getting your needs met, you need to ask yourself why you're staying here. And a lot of this is having to do, Spirit is saying, with being afraid of what it could be like to be with someone else or what it could be like to try something different, right? So just something to self-reflect on, I would say. If you feel like someone is dimming your shine and depleting you from being able to invest in your own life, this is a red flag that this is not your person. Because when I think of settling, I think of like just a very gray energy of like, this is lackluster, you know? If the right person should help you to support you in your goals and help you continue to stand in your power. It should be a balance, right? We have waiting. Rather than waiting on another to change, I make the changes within myself so that I may have these things reflected back to me. Beautiful message. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of indications here of waiting around, you know? This is a red flag that someone's not your person. Especially if you guys have communicated to someone that, like, you need something. There's a need that you would like for them to try to meet, and they just blatantly disregard it and they refuse to work with you. They're clearly not ready to change. So it's like red flag. We have support. I have faith that the universe is guiding me towards what is best for me. I also think this is just talking about the support in general, because it's like what we've been channeling for you, Group 3, is like the type of person that just doesn't feel like they want to support you. They're not really holding your feelings in high regard. You know, it's like someone that's more focused on their own needs and their own life and maybe taking you for granted a little bit, right? So I think support is very important to this group. So when you're not feeling supported and someone is making you feel like you're being too needy, this is a red flag that this is not your person, not your soulmate. So Group 3, I believe those are all the messages I'm getting for you. So I'm going to close it out there, but I would love to hear from you in the comments what aspects you feel resonate with your situation the most. So please drop me a comment below and let me know. If you're not already, please do subscribe to the channel and hit the bell. This way you guys are aware of when I'm uploading new content, and I look forward to seeing you in a new reading really soon. Bye.